Welcome to Finding Alara, a safe space where authors, artists, and creatives share their world-building style and mindfulness tactics. Brought to you by Bushland Castle Productions, a micro-publisher with an author support platform that nurtures creative growth and storytelling excellence. Welcome to the Indie Author Book Fair Minisode series. All of these interviews were recorded as a live stream from the Indie Author Book Fair on the 30th of November 2025 in Bunbury. Each minisode will have the live interview component with myself or Paul Vandermeer from Forest.chat, an interview the guest had with Chris Ilsley on the day, and an excerpt from one of their creative works that may just inspire you to have a closer look at what is available in the indie book world. Feature guest 26 of 27 is Shannon Riley. Shannon is the author of Foxfire, a complete romantasy trilogy. She lives in Perth, Western Australia with her partner and 2 kids. Shannon is also the owner of the Indie Realm in Subiaco, Perth, a romance bookstore for indie authors. When she's not spending time with the family or busy with the Indie Realm, she's deep in the writing cave for her next project. Her first book, Foxfire, has the hook, an ancient war between light and dark, good and evil. You can get copies of her books in Subiaco at her shop, the Indie Realm. If you're too far away from Perth, then they are also available through Amazon. The links are in the show notes. We've done our best to clean up the audio for the interviews, but it was recorded live, so there is some noise from the crowd in the background embedded into the interviews. I hope that this gives you a feel for what the energy was like on the day. I will return to your ears at the end to share my key takeaways and let you know who the next guest is going to be. I'm here with Shannon Riley from the Indie Realm. As you can tell, her table is absolutely chock-a-block with books, and it's so good that she's coming down to have all these books for other indie book authors that can't make it to the Indie Author Book Fair.
Yes.
So you've actually got your own books, which we can't show anyone because bloody post.
Yes, they're not here, but I myself write romantasy, so I have a full romantasy trilogy complete with a novella afterwards, which is kind of, you can read as a standalone.
But it's in the same world as the series,
yeah. And I'm writing more at the moment, but yeah.
You're also running a bookshop.
And I run the Indie Realm in Perth, Subiaco. So it's 99% romance with a small section of crime, thriller, adventure, sci-fi, low to no romance, but we are mostly romance, but in all genres. So contemporary, romantasy, dark romance, then you have like paranormal romance, monster romance, all the subgenres in between. And all our bookish merch is like Australian small businesses as well. So.
And Shannon just started writing a blog for Bushland Castle Productions.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
Very
I was trying to get her to call it Riley's Realm, but she's not sold yet. Give us some time.
No, maybe. I think I'll change it.
So tell us a little bit about how you got onto the creative path and started writing your books.
My nan is a published author, so I grew up with her as a role model, and I didn't read much as a kid because I'm dyslexic. So I made my own stories because it was really hard to read. So from like 10, I wanted to be an author, and it just took me a while I didn't really know too much about self-publishing, but kind of watching my nan go through the traditionally published route, like it's not always the best route, especially if you want 100% creative control. So I just went for self-publishing, and yeah, definitely learnt a lot. My first book, even to the second to the third. So that's what also got me into the indie realm, is having a place for independent authors.
And one of the great things about the Indie Realm is they actually have like an author room. So if you want to write, you can just go there and hang out and write. I saw some, Facebook or TikTok or something the other day. There was 4 authors that were walking down to the Indie Realm just for a little write-in.
Yeah, so
that
we have
is so cool.
A writer's spot and a reader's nook. So yeah, you can literally come down, whether it's yourself or in a group, and because sometimes you just need to change the scenery. Whether it's reading or writing, sometimes you just need to get out of the house, and it still doesn't mean you have to talk to people, because you can still go there and read your book or write. And so we have quite a big space, and we've got a lot of events coming as well for next year, which is exciting.
That is very exciting. And sometimes you just need to get out of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you started indie publishing, did you actually realise what a mammoth task it was going to be?
Yes and no. I definitely knew it was going to be huge. Kind of task, but I don't think I really knew until I was in it and running. There's so many things you don't know until you're in the trenches. So I had an idea, and I had more of a network. I knew a lot of authors from being an author myself, so I wasn't 100% alone, but this is my first time running a small business, so it's definitely been a learning curve. But one that I think it's amazing to be stressed about a dream job and not a job that you don't like.
And you've actually converted your book to audio.
Yes.
So that's a next level publishing step.
Yes. It's a bit hard in Australia because we don't have access to ACX, so Audible. So it was a bit of jumping through hoops, but there are ways for indie authors to do it, and I think it's becoming a lot more popular as well. So there's more avenues to find. You just got to find it, I guess, which is what we try and help with as well, to get indie authors in contact with the things that they need to publish and get further.
For sure. And what's your ideal writing environment? Do you write at the shop?
I do, because I find I have more time at the store. But generally, it's nighttime and I have a wine and I'm just sitting there and I'm writing.
Yes. So a bit of Dutch courage in the stories then.
Yeah.
So what level of spice do you think your stories are?
It's hard because spice can be so different for each reader.
Subjective.
Yeah, subjective. But I'd probably say a 3 to 4. Like, it's pretty, the stories that I've written, their magic kind of revolves around kind of like sexual magic. So it's definitely it's spicy.
Okay. So how would you describe yourself as an author in 5 words?
Oh, 5 words. Original. I don't know about 5 words. I like writing for myself, so it was a very
selfish?
Maybe. Maybe.
Romance, passion, sex magic.
Yeah. Sex positive. Like, they're for that kind of story and character growth and all accepting of those things.
So if you were to start as an indie author today, what do you wish you knew?
Editing, formatting, and publishing. Don't go for self-publishing companies because they're just money pits. They're not there. There's actually so much in Australia for indie authors. It's just, if you don't know any authors, it's hard to find, but there is so many steps to help you publish now, and don't go for those kind of book scams, which can seem like a good idea at the time because you know nothing and they're like, we'll take it off your hands kind of thing.
But then you're not learning. Yeah. No. So you've got this amazing spread here. What would you recommend for someone to buy today? Your favourite book? Impossible?
Yes.
Okay, so for a female in their 30s, that's not me, I'm older than that, who likes sex positive books, what would you recommend?
Any of them. They're all very kind of like sex positive. Probably I Won't Fall.
I Won't Fall?
Yeah, it's under though, you can't see it.
It's hiding.
Or this is a sapphic adventure, kind of like adventure romantasy. It's I like this. And she's actually just been picked up trad as well. So
it's interesting, people who were independent being picked up trad.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're getting the cut sign, so we've spent our time. But thank you so much for talking to me today, and I'll let you know when the minisodes are out.
Awesome.
Have you finished building your story and you're not sure which pathway to choose for publishing? The Book Reality Experience is a publishing assistance service offering partnership publishing solutions to authors. We have different pathways available, and we'll recommend what we think works best for you and your story. Check out our website at www.bookreality.com for more information. Together, let's turn your book dream into a reality.
At the Indie Book Festival here in Bunbury, we've been talking to a swag of authors, but we're now going to talk to, I guess, what you might call a bookstore that's called the Indie Realm. And Shannon Riley from the Indie Realm has stopped by and pulled up a seat and said, I'll have a chat to you. Shannon, the Indie Realm, you must have a swag of books on offer at the moment.
Yes, and we actually just turned 1 today, so we've been 12 months since we opened last year in Perth, Subiaco.
and we support all independent authors from Australia, New Zealand and international. Of all genres of romance. We are 99% romance, but we do have a small section of like thriller, crime, adventure, sci-fi.
When you said you were 99% romance, I was about to say, well, 99% of the people I've talked to today have been talking about romance. So
Yep.
I'd say you're definitely on the right track.
Yes, definitely.
How many, you said you support independent authors, and I'm looking around today, there are a swag of independent authors here. I kind of get the vibe there must be a lot of independent authors.
There are. I had a small understanding of the community of indie authors just alone in Perth. When I opened up the store, I didn't realise how many local there were that I didn't know of. And then Australia-wide, independent publishing is what's popular at the moment, that authors aren't even choosing to go traditionally published because they want 100% control of their creative control. So they're going indie, but it obviously doesn't get that foot in the door for you like trad does, where you can already be in Big W, Kmart, or the big kind of sale shops.
How important is a physically printed book versus an online version these days?
I think it's you have two sort of things. You either have someone who reads digitally and then wants the trophy of a paperback, or people who like to read the paperback. So either way, it's still actually quite popular today to have the physical paperback.
So in the sense of selling books, people are still buying books?
Yes.
Are people you think might be traditionally members of the digital generation, say for example Generation Z, are they buying books?
Which generation is that? What year?
The youngest one.
The youngest ones. Yes, I think that there's like 50-50 almost of people who will read digitally, so like on Kindle, but then they still buy a physical because they liked that book so much. So even if they are digital readers, they're coming in and purchasing a physical copy to then put on their bookshelf.
There is something about a book on a bookshelf, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. And there's so many.
It looks good.
It does, and there's a lot of pretty books that are coming out now with like sprayed edges, foiling on the front, hardbacks. So people are also buying to have those special edition copies on their bookshelves as well.
Which probably in some respects might prove to be an investment in years to come.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Not that we're giving investment advice, but there's always the potential that something may turn out to be valuable simply because of how it was constructed.
There are so many independent authors that start off independent and are being picked up trad to go traditionally. So you never know what author you find that's independent and then they end up getting traditionally published as well.
Is independent becoming more popular, or is it just that people find that that's the easiest way to get published? Because I'm guessing if you're independent and you start being successful, that's when traditional publishers will pick you up.
Yeah, it's a bit of both, I guess. Going indie is easier, but it's also, I think, it's just the more preferred way. You get 100% creative control over your cover, over the content in your book, and all your royalties are going to you. Especially in Australia, like you're not making very much money on your own work when the books are up on Amazon or the platforms that you can have. So yeah, I would sell direct from myself, and a lot of authors, that's what they're doing, selling direct from themselves, from their own personal websites, or bookstores like us that only do indie authors.
Okay. Is there? Would you call it a growing demand for independent authors, or is it steady as she goes, or are you having to create them?
No, I think it's getting quite popular. Like, this is why I wanted to do it as well. There's so many out there that you don't even realise, and it's more about getting people's attention of that these books are here, and once they know they're there, they're loving it.
It's also amazing how many people now are saying, going beyond the I'd like to write a book to I've written a book.
Yeah, and it just allows that community, that writing community, that reader community, like-minded people who are wanting a space that they feel that there's people that understand them. It's about the community as well, and that's really been, especially in Perth, people have been screaming for it.
Do you think it's going to continue to grow?
I think so. I think COVID definitely did help everyone kind of stand still and maybe think back
Isn't it
to
amazing
books.
that when it comes to writing a book, that's one positive thing that came out of COVID?
Yeah.
People didn't have anything else to do, so well, I guess I might as well write a book rather than get bored.
Pick up a book or two, and there's so many different ways. Again, if you can't get the physical book straight away, you can go digital, but digital still leads to the physical book. So they're both quite popular avenues still.
Shannon Riley from the indie realm, thank you very much for dropping by and giving us a little bit of background to the independent authors.
No worries, thank you for having me.
The excerpt I have for you today is the prologue from Foxfire. The War, 79 years before the birth of fear. Riker. My griffin pulses with the desire to return to battle. We were built for war, yet we have never seen battle like this before. The stench of death burns my nostrils. Sweat, blood, decaying flesh. I bring my wrist to my nose, hoping to smell the roses and winter lilies from my court, but the fragrance is long gone. My muscles ache and my hands shake as I burn off the adrenaline of shifting from my animal form, my altar. 3 days we've been here, in a valley of death between winter and night court. I don't know how the Fae keep advancing on our defences, how they seem to know this land like they were born here. Groans of pain echo around the tight encampment. We've had to move closer to the Skula Mountains. Sintus and his band of Brulas found our last camp somehow, and we paid the devastating price of 50 fairies. Though my Fanu, the king of fairies, possesses the largest division of warriors, this hit will ripple through our divisions well beyond those who lost their lives. We've never lost so many all at once. My Manu's court sent 1,000 warriors to add to my Fanu's, and that is the only reason why my morale hasn't fallen. It's not that I feel safe, I'm just too cautious to address my sorrow just yet. My eyes trail the unusual white armour of those fairies that are stationed at the edge of camp. I have not visited my Manu's court since I was a youngling. Not many do, unless born to the court itself, with the day court a mystery to most. The ground is damp beneath me. A knot of anxiety tightens in my chest, telling me to go find my Brula, telling me I mustn't be out in the open right now. I wear my stelch and war mask until the canvas of my tent falls into place behind me. This tent appointed to me as the king's sonua, lavish and not needed in times of war. But the king, well, he insists on having the finer things no matter what time we find ourselves in. I am a fairy of luxury myself, but I take my role as crown prince much more seriously than I do my own comfort. As the thick leather of my stelch leaves my body, I'm relieved by the soft, cooler cotton that clings to my chest. The tight leather of my breeches much less restrictive than my stelch. Another thing my Manu's court helped with, the mating of my Parnas brought the two celestials' court together. Their mating combined an interesting kind of magic that allowed the creation of the stelch, among other things. The stelch brought us the protection we needed against the onslaught from the Fae. An unprovoked slaughter that gives no hint as to why they rage war with us. I roll my cotton sleeves past my wrist, past the runes on my forearm, and settle them just below my elbow. I stretch the fatigue out of my thighs, allowing the hard muscle to relax. For one fleeting moment, I allow myself to be at ease. The tent flap moves. Someone enters my tent. That is a pretty epic prologue. There's a lot of terms and information in there that you may not understand, but in the actual book itself, it has a glossary of terms. It even goes into detail about the different eyes that the Fae have, so that's really interesting. My first takeaway from the interviews was how passionate Shannon is about supporting indie authors. She took up the whole corner, and it was almost all the books from her bookstore. She did tell me that the shelves will definitely need to be restocked when she gets back. My second takeaway was her choice to go indie, understanding the control that she would have with her stories. That is a common sentiment. My third takeaway was how she wanted to be an author since she was 10. What were your key takeaways? If you'd like to carry on the conversation with Shannon, then she has a Facebook, Instagram and TikTok. You can see her in-store at the Indie Realm in Subiaco. All the contact details are in the show notes along with her book information. In the next special episode, you will hear from Ian Hooper. If you are enjoying the show and would like to show some support, then please subscribe and share these episodes with a friend. Or if you want to go the next step, you can buy us a cuppa. Head on over to ko-fi.com/findingalara. That's ko-fi.com/findingalara. There is an option for you to buy us a cup of tea for $2, or you can join the Shadow Lair for $5 a month, where you receive exclusive content and advanced information about the show. If you'd like to get in touch with myself or the team at Bushland Castle Productions, then I'm on Instagram, TikTok as @FindingAlara. There is a Discord channel and Facebook group called Finding Alara Podcast. The Bushland Castle Productions team are on Facebook, Instagram and Discord as BCP Creative, or you can check out the website bushlandcastleproductions.com for the most up-to-date information. If you'd like to get in touch with Chris, then he is on Facebook as Chris Ilsley, and if you want to talk to Paul, then he is on Facebook as Paul Vandermeer, and he has his own podcast, forest.chat. The music is brought to you by At Keys of Moon Music and is called The Epic Hero. If you enjoyed listening to Finding Alara, have any questions, or just want to share your world with us, then please get in touch. Until next time, keep up the search for your Alara.